Hey guys, Kimberly here, and if you haven't started reviewing your year and planning your next year, this is the perfect time to do that. And honestly, no matter when you watch this video, you can do these steps. You could do it for the entire year, you could do it for maybe by quarter or by like catalog season or every 6 months to give you a better idea of how your business is flowing. So I'm going to give you 10 tips on what to look for. And honestly, you guys, this might scare you a little. I'm going to ask you to do things that maybe you've never looked at, reports you've never pulled, or, maybe even done some math around your business. But as a business owner, it is your responsibility to understand the health of your business. And as a business owner, you need to be able to plan and forecast and be able to set goals for yourself in the upcoming year. Now, I'm going to be mentioning a couple of things, so just know that anything I mention is going to be down in the description of this video. I'm going to mention a PDF. This PDF will be very helpful. It's two-sided. It'll help you document things. And then I think it's going to end up being 3 spreadsheets. One of them will help you if you don't want to manually do math. It has formulas. You just enter in the numbers that you find, and it'll spit out results for you, which is really neat. Another one is a customer spreadsheet to help you find out who your top customers are, and we'll get to that in one of the tips. And then the last one is to help you identify what your party averages are. Because if you don't know what your party average is, you don't really know how many parties you need to book for the month in order to hit your PRV goal. Which if you don't have a PRV goal, we're going to talk about that too. So one of the first things you're going to need to pull is called the BAR. And if you've never pulled the BAR, it stands for Business Analysis Report. And it is under Reports, Sales Reports, Business Analysis Report. Once you print it out, it's going to look something like this. Lots of numbers. If you've never looked at this before, I highly encourage you to pull this every single month after payday, normally around the 15th of the month, and it'll give you literally everything that you could want for your business when it comes to numbers. So you're going to need this. However, whenever I pulled this, it didn't have November's numbers. So I'm going to give you a workaround if yours does not include that. I'm going to give you a workaround no matter what in case you don't want to pull that report. So before we get started, one thing I really want to make sure you do is go into this with an open mind, because I might be asking you to do certain things that are going to scare you. Maybe some of the goals you're going to set might be goals that you have never done before. And honestly, that's what goals are supposed to be there for. They are supposed to scare you. They are supposed to get you out of your comfort zone. They're supposed to make you sweat a little. And that's our brain, right? Our brain wanting to keep us safe. So for example, if you've never done 2,000 PRV before, and that ends up being your goal, don't be like, no. I'm just going to go ahead and bump it down to 1,500. Do 2,000. You always want to err on the side of higher, because what happens if you get to 1,500, you hit that goal, I'm done. I don't want you guys to do that. I want you to shoot for higher, okay? My PRV goal now, every single month, once I started hitting 2,000 consistently, it jumped to 3,000, 4,000. Now my PRV goal after this last year is over 5,000 PRV. That is scary. That is scary. So if I have scary goals, I highly encourage you guys to have scary goals too. Okay, number 1. I want you to look back at your past year and really think, what did you love about your business? What did you love doing? Did you like doing parties? Did you like doing online events? Did you like sending samples, happy mail, the connection you had with your team? What did you love about your business? And on the flip side, what did you not enjoy about your business? Whenever I did this with my group, the top 2 answers that came out from almost everybody was, I'm not as organized as I want to be, and I'm not as consistent as I want to be. So if you fall into those 2, trust me, you are not alone. And with that being said, I'll also put another document down below that will help, hopefully, with those 2 things if you fall into that category. But what did you not enjoy about your business this last year? All right, number 2, let's talk about PRV. So I want you to look at your BAR report, and I want you to find the month that had the highest PRV from this past year. Now, if you're watching this and you just joined a couple of months ago, that's okay. Just find your highest PRV. If it was this month, Just jot down the month with the highest PRV. The next thing I want you to do is go to your workstation. Under the order history, there's a date, like a date filter. Choose the dates that fit that month. So if May was your highest month, put May 1st through May 31st, and then you'll be able to kind of get a snapshot of what was happening in May if you don't normally take notes. So you can see, well, maybe I had a couple of parties, maybe I did a fundraiser, maybe a lot of this was from follow-up, maybe a lot of this, maybe there was a sale or an LTO. How did you market that? Was it in your customer group? Just document how you got the sales in your highest sales month. Okay, next, let's get your year-to-date PRV. Now, it would be nice for us to look at this report, but this report only gives us through last month. So I want you to find your PRV literally through today. The best way to do this is go to your reporting tab, view my performance, and then click on Start Leadership Report. Up at the top, there's going to be a drop down of months. What you want to do is click whatever month we're in, if you're going to do all the way. What I would do is January through December. So I would make sure the December button is clicked and then press and hold the shift key and check all of the months, January through December. Then you can let go and hit run report. It'll give you year-to-date numbers or that entire year's numbers. Jot down that number, right? Jot down your entire year's PRV. Now, something else that'll help us in a little bit, there's also a sponsored column. Jot down how many people you sponsored as well. So one thing I want you to do right now is I want you to find your average PRV. So all you have to do with that is take your total PRV that you just grabbed and divide that by 12. That is what your monthly average PRV is. Now, in order to get your PRV goal for this coming year, times that number by 1.5. That number is your monthly PRV goal for the entire year for the next year. Now, if it scares you, don't let it. Hang tight, hang tight. Now, also while we're here, I want us to check on annual sales numbers. If you're not familiar with annual sales, Cincy has 2 annual awards, one being annual sales, and that's having 30,000 PRV between May and April. So what we can do here is we can uncheck all of those boxes and then just check May through December and then jot down that total. So what we can do here is take that total and subtract it from 30,000, and that's how much PRV you need in order to earn annual sales. Depending on when you're doing this, if it is in December, maybe it's in January, just take the amount of months left. So January, February, March, April, so 4 months, divide that number by 4. That'll get you the average PRV that you need every month, January, February, March, April, in order to hit annual sales. All right, step number 3. This is our first planning step. Now I want you to look back over the things that you enjoyed, maybe over that top PRV month. What worked in your business? What activities are you going to continue doing into this next year? And what activities did you not see a return on your investment that you are either going to reduce or completely scrap? Also here, I want you to think, how did I show appreciation to my customers last year? And what do I want to do for my customers going into this new year? Was there any type of recognition, maybe top sales? Was there maybe anything in your customer support group that you did? Did you send happy mail, samples? What did you do for your customers that you want to continue? Or maybe what do you want to start doing for your customers this year? All right, planning step number 4. I want you to think, how can you generate new leads in the new year outside of the normal lead gen type things like parties or events or fundraisers? What are some things that you can do that maybe you've never done before in this new year? We are consistently losing people out of our business as team and as customers. So what are we doing to fill that bucket? All right, step number 5, we're going to be reviewing again. So I want you to think, how many parties did you have this past year? Let's be honest. And honestly, you might not even know. I didn't know, but there is a way to find out. So if you don't know how many parties you had, you can go to your order history, and on the left-hand side, there's a drop-down menu for some filters, and you can choose basket party for the party type, and that will give you, even if it wasn't a basket party, if it was a home party, online party, but basket party is what you're looking for, and that will give you every party that was closed in this year. Now, if you did a lot of parties in this last year, this might take some time, but I promise it is worth it. So I want you to document every single party, who the host was and how much the party did. So I broke mine out into 3 separate categories. So I broke mine out into people who ended up joining, hosts that were just hosts, and then parties that I did on my own. So that's a good way to break it up, so that way you kind of know what the party averages were for each. But this will help you identify your party average and find out, how many $200 parties did I have? And that would equal how many, host kits, how many $59 kits you could have offered. Then how many parties were over 500? That's how many no out-of-pocket costs you could have given someone. So keep that in mind too. All right, step number 6, and this is a planning step, and we're also going to do some math. I apologize. But we are going to figure out how many parties you need to book every month in order to hit your PRV goal. Okay, so I'm going to look at my computer to get you this equation. So you are going to want to get your total PRV from all of the parties that you just did. Okay, add up all of them. And this is where that spreadsheet comes in handy. So add up all of the PRV from all of the parties. Then you want to divide that by the number of parties you had. Okay, that's going to give you your party average. Now, from there, you're going to divide that number by your monthly PRV goal. Once you do that, you'll know exactly how many parties you need to book in order to meet your goal. So let's say that your PRV goal is 2,000 PRV and your average party is 500. You're going to need 4 parties a month to hit your PRV goal. Now, I realize that as I'm saying these equations and saying these things, it's probably really overwhelming and it's probably very confusing. So make sure, again, that you are grabbing the PDF. The PDF should help. All right, step number 7, whenever we were looking at our PRV, we grabbed that number total sponsored goal. So how many people did you sponsor this year? How many of those people got the $99 kit? How many of them got the $59 kit, the $39, or no out-of-pocket cost? Document those things. This will also help you identify where you are strongest. Which kit are you strongest offering? All right, tip number 8. Hang in there, we are almost done. But this tip is probably going to take you the most time out of every single step that we have talked about. This one is going to be identifying who your top customers are. And honestly, I know some people mentioned Amy's only going to give you lifetime customers. So if I looked at Amy, my lifetime customer has purchased the most. She's not even a current customer of mine. So I want to recognize customers who have purchased the most in the last year, or you can also look at this within the last 6 months or the last catalog season. So you have to think, who are my top customers? Have I recognized them? Have I thanked them? Do they know that they're a top customer of mine? Have I offered them the opportunity? Have I offered them a host kit that I have, right? Usually that's one of the easiest ways to help someone start their own business is with a host kit. So instead of explaining how to do it here, I'm going to put step by step down below in the comments. And again, it might seem overwhelming, but you guys, once you do this one time, it is so easy and simple to keep it updated and have the total so you know who your top customers are at all times. And a little side note, if you follow me, you know that I love follow-up systems, and this spreadsheet is my follow-up system. I've been using it for almost a year now, and if you know me, you know that I don't normally stick with follow-up systems that long, but this one has been the best system that I have ever found for me. And a key piece with this is I control it 100%. At any time, if the workstation goes down, if the company decides to close, heaven forbid, I still have all of my contact information. I have everything. It'll also help you identify whose information you are missing. All right, tip number 9 is how many people do you need on your team in order to get to the next level? And be consistently paid at title. That is the kicker. We don't want to just promote. We want to promote and be paid at title. I don't want you guys leaving money on the table. So I have some numbers here just to use as a simple guide. So for lead, you're looking at 4 people on your team. For star, 10. Superstar, 30. And director is 60. And yes, for some of you, those numbers might feel a little inflated. Again, that is to be paid at title. Now, if you ask any of the top leaders, are going to tell you shoot to have a front line of 100 or more. And again, that number might scare you, but I can guarantee the more front line you have, the better your paychecks will be. So make that one of your goals in this new year, to really grow your front line wide. And tip number 10, by now you should probably have all of your goals in place, right? You know, how many people do I need to have on my team? How much PRV do I need a month? How many bookings do I need to have a month? You should have a good idea of what that looks like. Now, if you just didn't do any of it, I want to leave you with this one thing, okay? And I'm going to read it because it's just easier if I read it. So I really want you guys to look at what the company has set as rewards, right? And a good way to do this too is to look at the incentives that Cincy offers, right? So it's easy to see what Cincy wants to reward or does reward, and make that your goal. So the first thing is shoot for the 2,000 PRV. You're going to get an extra 5% bonus. So instead of getting, 500 or less in your own personal sales, you're going to get 600. It's an extra $100 or more in your pocket. So shoot for that extra 2,000. Again, with the annual sales I mentioned, if you have an average of 30,000 PRV within that time frame, Cincy's going to literally hand you $1,000 in cash. It's pretty awesome. Now, the next annual award is the Annual Mentor Award. So that is helping 14 people start their business and hit the first level, which is certified, helping them get to certified within that time frame. And you get a minimum of $350 in cash. So if you're an annual sales and annual mentor, you get $1,350 in cash. The next one is going to be, helping those people that you've sponsored earn their first Fast Start Award. For every one that you do that with, you get an extra $25 in product credit. Another one is going to be being paid at title. So if you're not being paid at title now, what do you need to do to be consistently paid at title? Now, down below in the description, I will leave another PDF that I did mention at the beginning that will allow you to document your goals on Post-its. So make sure that you print that one as well. I would love to hear what your goals are. Like, what are your sights set on in this new year? I would love to know. I hope this helped. I hope it wasn't as confusing as me talking about it seemed to be. But I really hope you guys utilize this and you have such an amazing, amazing business growth in the next year. And I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.